Hello, everybody. Hello, Tom. Welcome to Aquarius Rising Africa.
Hi,
And it's
Shanti.
Tom Tuesday. Tom, obviously very happy to see you. I have
Mm,
absolutely no doubt. So, welcome back, everybody. And I just want to say I've just moved, so
mm,
everything is kind of chaotic in my life. Everything is just finding its place now. So if you see me in a different background, it'll probably be changing quite a bit over the next few days until I find my feet. But
hmm.
Tom, I'm so cool. Very happy to see you. And how's it been going with you? Got some interesting. Let me just say hello to everybody. Hello, Becky. Hello, Cosmic Diana. Hello, Renee. Hello, Lisa. Nice to see you. Nice to see you,
Hmm.
ladies in the chat. Always, always there. It's so good to see you.
Yeah.
Cool. Hello, Tom.
Yeah.
Over to you. I think I've been naturally on enough now.
Well, you look great after having such a big move. You look fantastic. And I am,
Crazy.
yeah, I'm just thrilled. I mean, my contacts are telling me that the other side is completely on the run. Once you nip the head, get the top general, and get them running, it's like the people on the battlefield watch them run and they get in this disarray. It's disorganized, it's panic. And that's happening from even Tom Hanks, who takes his orders from Kate Chilton. We now
Hey,
know who the
yeah.
main person is. Yeah.
Hold the phone. Sorry. And I want to go to Kate Shilton as well.
Hmm.
But I'm writing this down. Um, Tom Hanks, Tom
Hmm.
Hanks, Tom Hanks, Tom
Hmm.
Hanks.
Hmm.
Let's go there, okay? Because so many of us were told at the beginning of lockdown that Tom and his wife have been uh, uh, executed at Gitmo 2 or 4 years ago already for crimes against humanity and crimes against children. But I think most of us understand now there was a whole lot of crap that was being sent out
Hmm.
during that
Hmm.
time anyway.
That's right.
So, but you've got quite a strong connection to Tom Hanks, and what you're saying is the man is still very much alive and kicking. But
Very much.
let's first get to how you know Tom Hanks. What is your relationship with him?
Well, it's interesting because he was supposed to be my groomer. My timeline, if you, real briefly, is religious right? FBI gave me that card, extended of courtesy too. While I was with religious right, being groomed to be the face of the Christian Coalition, run for political office. Also, then passed to the Rockefellers with the CIA, right there. Camp Perry's right with Colonial Williamsburg. So David Rockefeller took a personal interest, took me under his wing. I was being groomed for a position of director, which is over vice presidents. I mean, I had a beautiful mansion, home, everything. So I was being groomed to be that. They didn't think they could keep me. They thought they'd lose me to Hollywood. They did. And then when I was in Hollywood, I was being groomed to actually to be put under Ron Howard and Tom Hanks directly. So they seem to organize you by your, like how I cast a show. If you look and have the personality of someone else, they become your mentor. It's interesting. It's almost like somebody who's Virgo sorting colors and shapes, and lining them up. And it's weird. They do that. They do that when they cast your honeypot wives. They try to get somebody who would look good with you in a show, basically. So it's one of their mentalities, which is interesting, that
Yeah.
kicks into this stuff. Anyway, Tom Hanks was supposed to be my mentor. Instead, and also there was a lady, like we said, Kate Chilton, put him in place to do that. Also picked the Wachowskis, picked Elon Musk to take the tech. So they organize it with central people like behind the curtain. In this case, it was the woman behind the curtain, not the man behind the curtain. And she's now on the run. But Tom Hanks was to be my mentor in Hollywood.
Wow. Do you actually know him? I mean, have you spent time with him?
No, I haven't had lunch or dinner with him or anything. I've just been told that, he'll be handling, working with you. He'll make sure these doors open. You'll be doing films with him, things like that. That's where it was when I was my work was being given to the Wachowskis in 1996, way back then. So that's what was going on. Then they decided to cut the rug on me. And that's why Insider's showing us all these entries now where Tom Hanks who's now considered best friends with Larry Wachowski, listed as such. He is on that, like we said, that copyright entry for my title, The Immortals. So you see Tom Hanks listed, ordered and commissioned by Warner Brothers and HBO. Right, this. right in that very time frame when they're going to make Matrix. So that's, now we know from the inside too that it was Kate Chilton that appointed him. So Tom Hanks is really a handled individual who wants to be, famous and everything. And now it's coming out about his family, where his children were put second, of course, where it was all about daddy's career and daddy being popular and daddy being famous. That's something I didn't want to take to. So we were different on that standpoint, but he went that route. So basically he's a handled individual, just like Mel Gibson is a handled individual. They're not free range people. They are owned and bought. And even Will Smith.
Are you saying Mel Gibson still belongs to the cabal full force? So he's not this nice guy whistleblower that was talking about Hollywood stars eating kids 10 years ago.
When he is good guy, when he turns good guy, he'll be doing what we're doing. He'll be getting on the air and talking about things. He'll be saying, I was made to do this. I was handled like I'm doing. That's when you know they're good guy. When they don't cross that line and they stay, popular in the mainstream media, being shown all over the mainstream media, that's what I could have had if I said no to being the good guy. So, and when if Mel Gibson had said yes, like I did, to doing the right thing, he would have been replaced, just like Elon Musk was replacing me to take my tech. He would have been replaced. You would have seen him go down quickly in flames. They say if they make you, they can break you. Mel Gibson was never broken yet.
Yeah, and yet you'll see in the tabloids and stuff how apparently Hollywood stayed far away from him. He was never cast or anything like that. Yet there are so many other stars and things that are actually like suicided and die from hanging themselves off doorknobs.
Yeah, of course, that's the stupidest thing in the world, that they make that claim that those poor individuals that are hung by doorknobs, you really, that's like trying to drown yourself in a pool of water, a little tiny pool of water, puddle of water.
Yeah.
If you I'm sorry to say this, but it needs to be addressed. If you tie a knot around yourself and hang it to a doorknob, your body's going to kick in. Your psyche's going to kick in. You're going to get that gray area where you're like, whoa, fight, flight. You're not going to just hang there on a doorknob. That's like me going like this with a rope and hanging it up like this. I'll hang myself. It's not going to happen. A person who's actually seriously doing this terrible thing to themselves and are in that much despair is going to make sure it's a final thing. They're not going to do a doorknob thing. No, it's an MO. It's an MO of the cabal. It's an assassination MO.
Yeah, I would imagine then, I mean, and I've often thought about that as well. Like if you're looking back, he was, 10, 15 years ago, he was talking about that and pretty much apparently got cancelled, but here he is back in full swing again,
They brought him back for this time. Yeah, they brought him back for this time, and they got a big operation going right now, which isn't popular for me to talk about, but I know exactly what's going on with that operation and that film. But yeah, we don't have to touch it if it upsets people.
Well, can you talk about it?
I can talk about it, but every time I open these can of worms, it upsets people, and I don't want to upset people. What I want to say is that I want truth out. I want to see the kids, but
should we just tell what warning do you want to give people? If people
watch for heavily groomed projects, heavily groomed people, and I would say definitely pay attention to the eyes, because when I look at your eyes or someone sees our eyes, and people that we're connected with, I look at their eyes. There's always the compassion there. There's a layer of compassion. Learn to read layers is what I would say to people. Because when you look at the other people's eyes, that compassion's gone, and that's a requirement for being in the cabal. I see it in Mel Gibson too. Where's the compassion in the eyes? It becomes a different look. I mean, I can perform these things and show you what it looks like. It's like Schindler's List, where they say is the actor in Schindler's List, where the guy who plays the commandant, whatever, what he does is he had the ability to change his eyes, where they went from compassionate to just evil looking. And it's like, I can perform that, but that's what you see. You see these lack of compassion in the look of these celebrities that are bought, that have sold out. And what's interesting is there's a little bit of a window when, like, Will Smith was being slapped down. He slaps, but he's being slapped down. And because he's the one that was actually shown the work in the very beginning and was going to be Neo. So they had to slap him down as I was coming forward, I'm told. And so there's a little bit of window where they're shaken. And that shaken part is when they actually speak out. Now that happened to Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson got drunk, had a DUI threat on him, apprehended. At that point, he chewed out the Zionists in Hollywood. Then you see him make this very pathetic, I'll say pathetic, apology to the Zionists in Hollywood. Where he goes like, I'm sorry I did that. They had him on a leash. And that's what I remember is that's Mel Gibson saying, I'll step in line. I'll do anything you want. Just let me have my fortune and fame and be loved by people. And so he totally stepped right back in line and apologized for when that moment, that window, when he was shaken, he let it be known. He let it be known. You know, these guys are bad. That's after he was involved in the theft of my work that he was brought in to steal it with Forever Young and used actually components of my stuff in Braveheart, the picture falling from at the end when he's dying. He is not a good guy, but he can be a good guy. I had scripture the other day, and I don't usually talk about this, but I had a very interesting piece of scripture that came my way, and I felt it was from God. And it really allowed me to understand as I approached legal sides of this, what I'm getting into. And basically, I know I'm going into a fight with these guys where they control the game. It's totally rigged. But if I educate the public and show all our evidence, I may go into battle and get beat up by their system they own and rigged and mocked. But if I educate the public and show all my evidence and gets out there, then we win in the court of public opinion. That's why Kate Chilton's on the run. And can I just read this piece to you, if I may?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. I want to read this to you. Here's what I got the other day. And you never hear me say this probably, but I do get leadings at crucial times, like when all these contacts filling me in what's going on. That's a responsibility. Do I proceed with legal things? Do I not? And here's what it said. It's actually interesting from Job chapter 22, and near the end of it, right at the end of it. And it says, he will hear you and you will fulfill your vows. That's very important to me. What you decide on will be done, and light will shine on your ways. When men are brought low and you say, lift them up, which I'm trying to do during shows, then he will save the downcast. He will deliver even one who is not innocent. Listen to that. He will deliver even one who is not innocent, who will be delivered through the cleanliness of your hands. In court, they always throw at us, you have dirty hands. The claim dirty hands is a court term where they throw it at anybody who's innocent to say, you're as guilty as we are. That's our last defense. And so to see that in the scriptures that I feel was given to me, means a lot. That tells me go forward, going into a rigged game that I can reveal to the public how corrupt it is. See? So it's not a matter of winning their rigged game. They're not going to let me win this, but it's going to reveal how, we have all this evidence that's so clear, publicly shown. It's going to upset their game board. See? But that phrase at the end, cleanliness of your hands, that gives me such a feeling of, boy, is God there, because he knows they're going to throw dirty hands. They claim dirty hands. I don't have the dirty hands in this. My evidence is pure. My heart is pure in this. I will go forward. But watch how they, who always project on others and rig the system, will say dirty hands. I feel good going in. That this is not a fight. I can probably win as far as their terms, but I can win for God, which is bring forward how the corrupt system is so corrupt that all this evidence would still be given that verdict in a rigged game, gamemanship. So that's my play.
And I think it's so true what you say. There are no winners here, really. At the end of the day, it is just one big fat corrupt system, right, where you belong to the system, and as Jesse always talks about the light side and the dark side of the system. So the dark side would be the obvious dark side, right? And the light side would be the ones living the cover lives sort of thing. And that's really the world we're living in. That's the matrix that you talk about, is that as long as you are subscribing to somebody else's desires or opinions of what they think you should be, you're going to be powerless as a human being. it is up to us to figure out what is true, right? It is
And
up to us to, yeah, and it's up to us to figure out, to use our discernment
mhm,
as to what is right and what is wrong. It's like, going back to the discussion we had last week about the Neuralink. um, you know, Really at the end of the day, it's all about who's using it, you know, who has access to it, who has that power over another human being. Um, we know that great power corrupts. So again, yeah, we are no winner, or there's always winners, they're the winners. We're always the losers, basically, when it comes to a lot of things. So it is up to us to practice discernment and figure out for ourselves. And as you say, the truth shall set us free.
right.
So when we know the truth, we then automatically stop supporting, let's say, those movies or productions or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, how many people really stop supporting these things? Look at Balenciaga a few months ago, right? Is Balenciaga out of business? Oh, hell no. They're probably busier now than what they were before. So why are these things being exposed,
Mhm,
when we are actually doing nothing to use that information to our advantage? And I'm
mhm,
sorry, I see a lot of that more and more.
right.
Yes, there's controlled opposition. Yes, there are these drops, confusion drops as well, that you don't know
Mhm,
what's true and what isn't
mhm,
true, anymore.
mhm,
But it's up to us to smarten up and figure out what it is we need to do to make the difference in our life that automatically creates the difference in those around us. And that's how we create the wave of change. But
right.
not by sitting scandaling about someone like, let's say, Balenciaga or Warner Brothers or what have you. But yet, there we go, 2 weeks later, munching popcorn in the movie house, supporting them.
Hmm, hmm.
Doesn't
Well,
make
that's
sense.
that's the thing. What we need to do, our ranks. So this is a word to our ranks, basically, all of us in the ranks. We need to do basically the water dance. We need to be fluid together. So here's the deal. The other side, if you see them get caught, like these televangelists when they got caught having sex and things like this with prostitutes, they instantly get on the air from "you will go to hell" to this the next day. "I have sinned," and then they make it something that helps their PR. They're very good to duck and dodge and get away from what is really incriminating. What we need to do on our side is, if people say something or hear to a viewpoint, say, let's say Tom Hanks. Someone says, I don't even know who did this, but it doesn't matter. Tom Hanks is dead, they say. I said, Tom Hanks isn't dead. It shouldn't divide our ranks. It's not a matter of he said this and she said that, or he said that and he said that. No, we should stay fluid. Let's be very forgiving to each other if we have differing viewpoints. And some of us have intel, like I do. And it's not a matter of who's right on what we're saying as far as an opinion. It's a matter that we stay true to each other, lift each other through these barrage of opinions thrown at us by the cabal. They're going to throw us all these things, all these ideas. The military is going to save us, and Sound of Freedom, which is my pet peeve, which I know from the inside. Gosh, am I mad about that one. And how people are told to talk that up. The thing is that we need to all lay it on the table together, and we'll discover together, and we don't condemn each other if people get it wrong. I've been getting it
Yeah,
right a lot lately. And Cabal tells me that because I have inside tracks. So I know what's going on. So I do get a little frustrated when people debate me and go, make it a point of friendship, whether I am going to agree with them when I know it's not true and it could harm people. So I lay it out, and I hope that people will still remain friends and still work together. But the cabal is very good at planting these problems and issues, so we get turned on each other. We can't let it turn on each other. We can't let it happen. We got to be water. We got to be fluid with everything they throw at us and still hold our ranks. Hold our ranks. The door that has the earth behind it, the soft earth behind it, will make it difficult for the ram to bust the gate down. So we have to have that soft earth behind everything we're doing and not condemn each other for having the wrong opinion. In time, it'll be revealed. And in time, you're going to learn a lot about this particular film that irks me, that I know about, and I'm sick of what they're doing with. But that's a can of worms for a lot of people.
What are you, the film or the movie?
Sound of Freedom. About? Sound of Freedom.
Okay, well, is there anything else that's peeving you about that? Because I know we did speak about it a few weeks ago. I don't want to like rehash stuff.
I don't want to either. I would just leave it at that. That I know what's going on with it. That it here, nutshell. It makes the CIA and the FBI look like they're not culpable. That it's other countries that are the problem, and it's a whole PR piece.
It's so true, because I actually heard what you were saying there, and if I remember correctly, when I was watching it. He was talking about, I must get it back. Okay, he was talking about West Africa. Tim Ballard was actually talking about this stuff, kids' organs being harvested, etc. I never saw the movie, so I don't know what actually was in the movie, so I want to just say that up front. But he was talking about specifically kids in West Africa and their organs being harvested and their BLOOD being drunken and stuff like that, but he made it sound like it was in the back streets of Africa. And let me tell you something, guys. No, that does not happen in Africa. It does, but it doesn't. Not the way they're telling you.
You're being
They're
scapegoated.
the ones who make it happen, yeah.
You're being
They're the ones
scapegoated.
who make it happen.
Yeah. See, the CIA, when I had that operative on Maui that got me into the Masons, look how they were fast tracking me there. One of the stories he told me right away was about he saw piles of arms and legs in Africa. That's a CIA operative saying that. That's a narrative and a talking story they put out. So they put it into the film. The story should be in the film about the trafficking is most grievous and most terrible in the US, but the FBI and the CIA don't want that talked about. The Pentagon knows what talked about. So they make a film that's a polished piece to make it look like they're the good guys, stripping them out of the story, just like Disney was offering me to have my real life story made if they stripped themselves out of it and their part, then they played. That's exactly what's going on. And so it's it's a cover piece. It's a piece to cover their guilt and their wrongdoing while making themselves look like the good guys and rewarding those involved in it that were failed studios, angel studios. So here's the deal. People will say, well, it gets the word out. It's finally getting, no, it shuts the word down. They're trying to shut it down. They're trying to say, this is the end all. This is what did it. What it should be saying is there's a lot to be done. We want to help other studios make the work. Like I said, we want to get more word out. There's too much for any one group. We should all be working together to free the kids now. That should be a launching point, not a sit back and collect rewards and aren't we wonderful? It should be, we need to get out there now and get these kids saved in America, in the US and England, where the trafficking is the worst, which will filter down to the parts in Africa and other places. But right now, the US the Pentagon wants to paint Africa as the bad guys. They've been doing that for centuries. And so now they're trying to finish that up and blame child trafficking on them. It was Pat Robertson that had the blood diamonds out of South African mines and had investments in those very things. So this country is coming to a second Nuremberg trial at one point. It hasn't happened yet. You would see a total difference in our climate if it happened yet. But I'm going to help when I get my credit back, if it is restored, to institute a second Nuremberg trials where it'll be strictly the elite of this country, England and Australia. One of the allies of World War II never let it go, and they used fascism to actually control the world so they would never lose power again. And we became the baddies. We became the bad guys. And they won't let me leave because I'm an asset. I would love to go to another country. I want to get out of the US. I love the US as far as what it stood for and some of the people in it, but it is a jailhouse right now, and it is a torture room, and it is a bad system that is wanting to just maintain power and control the rest of the world. And even when China and Russia are calling us out for biolabs in Ukraine and things like this, and then the US doesn't want those biolabs caught into Russian soldiers' hands. Why? Because it shows biological weapons and stuff like that. And now they got a bigger variant coming. If you listen to what's being said, the US is guilty, 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 and caught, along with Trudeau in Canada, who is the yes boy of the Pentagon in Hollywood.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. There it is. So I would love to come to Africa and get out of this thing, but apparently I'm called to be in the U.S. to deal with our own, and we've got the most
So
messed up.
I want to just ask you, going back to Sound of Freedom,
Mm.
one of the narratives around that was that they were using this to kind of amp up some fears so that the kids could get microchipped, because of course no one wants their children to be trafficked. So they were then saying,
Yes,
well, this is going to be a call to
that is
create fear
correct.
so that the parents can
That's
microchip their kids. And of
that's spot
course,
on from my sources. Spot on. Good. Sorry.
no, good. I'm just hearing.
Yeah. So no, that's prepping the way for Neuralink.
Yeah, I was
Neuralink,
going to
they're
say
going to tell you.
the
Yeah,
first
that's
step.
exactly what's going. That's exactly it. And the CIA and FBI have cleansed their culpability out of it. Do you know? Have you seen the thing? It's on YouTube. I think you can see it. Hunting Hitler, and the CIA files and the FBI files. Now, think Sound of Freedom when I say this. The FBI and the CIA are now have released all these files about Hitler. We actually got it right. We actually got it right. That's why they mocked it. That Hitler actually did go to South America, and that it was the Vatican and the Red Cross and the CIA and FBI that enabled it. The FBI and CIA and Pentagon gave the Red Cross ability, green-lighted them, to en masse passports, change of identity. The Vatican allowed all these top Nazi criminals, including the Angel of Death, to guys tagged that way, to be absolved. They had baptisms in Italy where they would go to this one church, and the Vatican allowed them to be absolved of their crimes, have new identities, so they washed their souls clean of all their wrongdoing in World War II, so that they could watch Hunting Hitler on YouTube, watch the documentary, and the CIA and FBI are showing themselves. They're showing this structured documentary that they're releasing these things that the FBI and CIA are now releasing, as if they're the good guys, like in Sound of Freedom. No, the FBI and CIA knew all about where Hitler was, where his top people were, how they're getting the passports, why they're working with Red Cross, and how they got in here all this time, because they were working with them as a way to fight communism.
Sure.
Unbelievable what's coming out, but watch how they do this dance to cleanse their pie in it. So we're going to need to have stories about the trafficking in America, England, Australia, follow-ups on how the CIA and FBI and Pentagon need to be put on tribunal crimes against humanity. The reason they leaked that it was already done, you can fill the sentence in for me. Ready? The reason, Shanti, that it was already leaked that the tribunals had happened is because those that were responsible want you to believe the trials already happened. Therefore, nothing else to see here. They told us that. And insiders let me know that. And so the trials haven't happened yet, but they sure will if this man has a part in saying it that was groomed to lead the cabal. I also like to use the Neuralink at those trials, so they're convicted and hung by their own memories. By their own memories is what we'll use from their Neuralink to convict them in the future. So post time anyway. So that's, I think, would be the beauty use of Neuralink at that point, just for revealing crimes against humanity. Wouldn't it be wonderful if they actually, their own thoughts were put forward? Can't hide from that.
That's
exactly
what I'm thinking. If that happens, it will be
tried by their own thoughts.
Yeah,
They're
I was going to say
yeah.
your own conscience, conscience.
From the man who was given it. God gave me that tech idea, fully explained pros and cons. Now, Elon only talks about the positive. I can tell you all the negatives, and it is chilling. I think I've alluded to some on your show. It's just chilling that they can take your child, put him in front of you. If they've been dependent on a Neuralink, pull that Neuralink right in front of you. Pay attention to what I'm saying here. You're standing there. They're going to discipline you. The state's going to discipline you. Your child's in front of you. They take the Neuralink out of your child. They lose bodily functions right there. They wet themselves in front of you. They look scared, disoriented, because they've been dependent on that for memory and thinking and processing. That's out. They also are looking at you, not even knowing your name at that point. It's actually in the Immortal screenplay. So they don't even know your name at that point, right in an instant in the same room where you've been interrogated. Then they put a different Neuralink in their head, and they realize they think that you are evil and bad. They no longer recognize you as their parent. They recognize you as an enemy of the state who harmed many, many children and did terrible things. That's the power of the Neuralink. It is 666, the mark of the beast. It is the thing that will allow the one world order to take hold of us and never let go. And they'll use this, like I said, these words on you, Shanti. If they came for you, they would do this. They'd say, Shanti or Chantelle, We're concerned for your safety. We don't want you to harm yourself. They always like to use this narrative. They love playing this game. And so we're going to go ahead and take your Neuralink now, and you're going to feel a little disoriented, but we'll give you some medication to help you cope in this time where you have a transition. We're going to help you get rid of those improper thoughts that, put you in danger. And in the meantime, we're going to put you, hold you, take care of you. We'll take care of your family at the same time. Sounds really nice, doesn't it? What they're doing is they can take your intellectual property. Any ideas you had are now theirs. They can take your identity, talk about identity theft. They can take any intimate moment that you've shared with any loved one and knock that out of the park. They can take any thought that any thought you had that they consider contrary, and they can post it publicly. Say, look what Chantelle thought at 3 a.m. in the morning on October 31st back in 2012.
Wow.
Hung by
that
flight
is freaking
offensive.
Scary.
It should
but
be.
I think that is definitely on the cards for us. So we need to be aware, right? Jeez, don't need anyone to be jabbing anything into your body or sticking it into your head, whatever. Wow.
What did Bill Gates say about it? What did Bill Gates say about it now? What does he say now? I have a clip of it. He says that the vax didn't work, that it didn't have a good longevity, it wasn't effective. And he made what? How much money did he make off the vaccine? For every dollar, they say, he put in, he made 20 on the barrel. Every dollar, $20 profit. That's better than a lot of the racehorses. That's better than betting on the winning horse. And now he says, now the vax wasn't good. It wasn't good. But he's going to have this inhaler made out of India, produced in India, this inhaler that'll be better than the vax. So you're going to buy that now. So he got 20 on the dollar for disrupting all these lives. It was enforced, and now they're claiming no one was enforced to take it. Seriously, how many people lost their jobs because they refused to take it? And it's not effective, and all these people are weakened and dying, especially young men. So what you have now is Bill Gates is going to come to the rescue again with an inhaler. So now you're going to get an inhaler, which is very, very suspicious to me, because I've been saying I didn't like shots. That's why I said blue pill, red pill, because I didn't like shots. That was a joke that we passed around. It was true. So all of a sudden, Bill Gates, who took my work, is saying that it's no longer going to be a shot. It's going to be an inhaler. I think there's something to that, because he didn't come up with Windows. So the thing is, like, these fortunes that are being made are D players. Bill Gates was a failure. He was a failure. Elon Musk was a failure. In fact, I had an insider tell me how they bailed Elon Musk out when he was going bankrupt. They bailed him out and set him up so he'd be set for a D player. So he was rescued, just like Mel Gibson was rescued. He crashed, DUI, everything, but he was willing to go on and apologize for taking the Zionists on. What was I accused of? Daring to face them down. Daring to face them down. So all the players are now being revealed, and they're coming forward, and they're trying to trash me. I just go, pop, delete, don't even read it. I don't even read their things, because I've got a job to do. I'm going to do it right. I'm not going to be distracted.
Yeah,
so I advise people, don't be distracted. Don't be distracted. But if there is differing viewpoints on things like tunnels or vax, or if there's differing viewpoints on is Tom Hanks alive or dead, or was there tribunals, let's not let it divide us. Have your opinions, but let's just work to a common end.
I agree. Just looking at a comment here from Nancy Schremser. Sorry, wrong one. Interesting what you have to say. I think when they started putting chips in our pets, they were testing the system to see how well it worked.
Yes.
How many jabs that our pets needed. It's exactly.
That's
I
right,
agree. My pets, I'm sorry, are not chipped. They're not jabbed. They have been to the vet once in their lives to be neutered or spayed, that for sure. So whatever they got then, but they don't get chips and they don't get jabs. And my cat lived in, it's 17, so bullshit.
Oh, that's good. That's a good point, because now they're saying they're doing Neuralink for pets. They're gonna do Neuralink for pets. All right,
yes,
great.
I heard that. Elon Musk was testing it on monkeys playing mind ping. The monkeys can now play mind ping. I mean, which monkey wants to freaking play mind ping anyway?
Yeah, seriously.
They'd much rather be out being monkeys, right, in the jungle.
Right.
Now
Right.
he's got monkeys playing mind ping. I mean, what the hell?
Let's be fair to the monkeys and not turn them into what we are, because right now we
Exactly.
are not a healthy society at all. And the only way
They
we
don't
get to
care. They don't care. They really don't care.
right.
They really don't care. Right.
So they're trying to blow off some fireworks and say, look at this, what we can do with animals, and get fascinated, and they think we'll be simpletons and go, oh, dogs will be able to talk to us, cats will be able to talk to us. Oh my God, we'll be able to reason like what was that one with up, you know? Hi, my name's So they're trying to distract us with this card show and fireworks and smoke and mirrors. And it's like, what we need to look at is it is a bad device unless it's regulated properly. And how do we set up a regulation board, right? And it will do so much more harm. It will lock in the one world order in a bad way. We have to say no to that. They were testing us with the jab thing to see if we'd all acquiesce. And about 33% or something, I forget what percentage they were estimating, said no. Even after all the pressure we've gone through, we said no. That's courage. And for those that did get it, you're still part of the winning team. We love you. And it's like, it's still, again, we're not going to let them divide us on what choices we made as far as their snow jobs they keep throwing us to divide us. Let's just prove them wrong by not being divided. If you say that kids are being extracted from tunnels, let's not have that divide us, right? It shouldn't be a blow up over whether kids are extracted or not. Let's just say, let's get the job done. We'll all do what we know, what we're given. We'll utilize it together. All right. And if some people believe they're being extracted from kids, from tunnels, and others don't, we can still work on the same team. Let's not let the other side divide us, and that way we'll win. It's got to stop. And if anybody rages because someone has a differing opinion and starts saying, threatening and things, you're never part of the team anyway, because that's not our nature. Our nature is to be teammates, to be on that front line, to be flexible with what they throw, right? If you get hit with a mud patty, you can't just leave the field. Incidentally, I had something informed to me from the inside just yesterday about Game of Thrones, and it is mind-blowing. All their tricks, all their parlor tricks are being revealed. The guy who wrote George R.R. Martin, who wrote Game of Thrones, I thought, oh, what a great guy. Sure has the arrogance. Turns out he was an employee of HBO, Warner Brothers, and Disney when he wrote it. He was an employee for hire, just like Tom Hanks, writing it. And that's why he stuck in all the stuff about the Red Queen who tears the papers up, my sister. And also Tomlin, whatever. King Tomlin dies because he's too nice and too good, which they tell me all the time, you're too good, Tom. And he dies out the window committing suicide when his mother, Cersei, which is actually next to Modesto, California, the one city is called this, where they draw that for the name. It's all a hodgepodge of different writers where George Martin, a failed writer, gets credit for the work. And I say failed writer, just like the Wachowskis. And so it was in-house. Again, in-house. It blew my mind when I was informed. So all this has been one big game to show the public to get us dialoguing and debating with each other. So what we can do is we won't debate about it with the information I just shared. We'll just go forward and help each other finish this fight. In the end, we will celebrate together if we don't divide along the nonsense they throw us. All right? That's what we should do, is make it most important that we do not divide amongst ourselves. We don't divide on each other over stupid issues, whether fireworks are blue, green, or purple. It doesn't matter. What matters is we get the job done, and nothing stops us from finishing the job. Anyway, that's my soapbox.
I like your soapbox, Tom. You were saying earlier on as well about Maui. I mean, I know we also discussed Maui last week, but is there anything new that's come up for you on that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I've got the inside word on that too. So Maui was done on purpose. It was the governor made that announcement in July that he was going to remove the restrictions from zoning laws in historic areas. Now, think of 9/11. The guy who owned 9/11, who bought it, the Jewish guy, Green, whatever his name was, Zionist guy, he bought it. And what he did was he took an insurance policy out for terrorism on the towers. And a couple of weeks later, terrorism on the towers. They said it was a very bad investment unless terrorism on the towers occurred. It's like he knew the racehorse to bet on. And in it, the people were told to go back upstairs. When the first plane hit Tower 1, the other side, the other tower, Tower 2, people were coming down. And they said, go back upstairs, go back upstairs. They needed a body count. Same thing happened on Maui. They told the people to turn around and go back to Front Street. Go back, go back. They were sent back into the city. Back in the city. I'm passionate about this. After, in July, same thing with insurance policy. The governor passes that rule that no longer will zoning apply to historic area, where if an historic area is wiped out, you have to construct it. In the past, you have to construct it historically accurate. It's a historic treasure. It's part of the culture, Hawaiian culture. So now, in July, he removes all those restrictions right in time for the wipeout, where they can do these smart cities and things like this. Put them up. Maui, as I was brought there from the Rockefellers to the Disney crew on Maui and brought in and given a home, a condo set up with a mafia, what happens is I was told that Maui was going to become a rich person's utopia, the elite's utopia, the 1%'s utopia. How much acreage did Oprah own? Zucker, Tom Hanks with the blue roofs? They 8,000 acres or something? It's like, what? How much do you need? They're buying Maui to create a utopian island. When they do the final solution, final solution, yeah, Elon. What they're going to do is they're going to have a servitude class on Maui serving the rich. It'll be the go-to place where you can get away from the common people and have only the elite together in a big party club. It'll be the new Ellis Island, will be Maui. If that doesn't
where the locals serve you, right?
Culture will be gone. That's why the kids are missing too. The kids are missing because they don't want anybody with inheritance rights. They want to simply own it outright with the elite. Maui becomes the elite's playground. And
what I want to tell you, I listened to this. You know what I've always said, South Africa is, and it's known fact, it's a guinea pig for we the cabal's bitches, so to speak. Whenever they want to try and test something new, pretty much it happens. Yeah, that's why we so modern compared to the rest of Africa.
Right.
However,
talk about testing. Talk about testing. You had the two cars up. Now I lived in Maui for 11 years. Aiden was born and raised there at that time, and I did shows. So I was entrusted with the kids, doing shows for the kids. I wrote my own musicals and things for them, produced, directed, all that stuff with other people, and I put them out there. So seeing the kids there and everything else, you know Lahaina really well when you've been performing all through there all the time and doing shows there all the time, like Tony and Tina's wedding. Upper Maui goes up the slope, and you're on Upper Maui where it dead ends cul-de-sacs, right? The one high school's up there, Lahaina High School. And so you end up there. Now, what's interesting is there's a residential area there now where two cars were fried. They were melted from above because you can tell by the burn footprint around them. This one little spot where the aluminum is melted off, the engine's melted, right? One little dog was found destroyed inside. You have this residential area around it intact. What you have, I'm told, was the test shot. The test shot on the two cars to test the weapon before they launched it on the historic city down below. So you take your weapon, you test it, it melted two cars, success, unleash it on the town, on the city. Now they have a problem because Tom Althouse was groomed to lead in the cabal. Tom Althouse said no. Tom Althouse paid the price. Tom Althouse is still standing because they want the other work I have. And I'm able to tell you what's going on. And I can tell you Elon Musk is a fraud to replace Tom Althouse, to bring forward the work that Tom Althouse said you're not to use. I use my name a lot there because I want to hit it home. Tom Althouse versus Elon Musk. That is really what it's come down to. And that's what they conditioned us to be. So the one that said no to the one that said yes. And it disgusts me that he says yes and doesn't tell you anything bad about the Neuralink, except now I'm told, since we've been talking, they pay attention to everything we say. I'm told, too, by contacts. Elon Musk is now starting to alter his story. Instead of saying just good things about it, he's saying there are some bad ramifications. Now he has to say it, see? It's almost like the Emperor at Gladiator. An Emperor, it goes like this, like he's got his thumb out there. Russell Crowe has gone forward and said he is, Maximus, and he wants so bad to go like this. And instead, the crowd's saying live, 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 so he has to go like this. That's what's happening to Elon Musk. Elon Musk is going like this. He doesn't have a choice. Now he has to start leaking bad things. See? Watch the dance. Watch him run. Watch him play. Elon Musk's handler, Kate Chilton, is on the run. Kate Chilton. I'm announcing this because they hate it. And watch for higher level resignations. that were in charge of Chilton and Elon Musk. Watch for the resignations. He might just give up Twitter. But the thing is, I'm announcing Elon Musk's handler is Kate Chilton. Kate Chilton is on the run. She resigned as soon as we revealed the Sophia Stewart, Kate Chilton payoff letter. Sophia Stewart struck it from her site immediately. Kate Chilton resigned from Superior Court immediately. See?
Wow.
Yeah, she was there to block me from doing any claims on Neuralink. So that's where
That's
now she's
amazing.
running. Yeah, that's what it is. See how simple it is? Very simple. The higher you are groomed in the cabal, the more attention they pay to you. And then the talking point now, Shanti, the last talking point is, why is Tom still alive? That's your last talking point? Then we're in good shape. Those that pass the talking point, shame on you. It's like, why am I still alive? Because I have what they want and I know how to play the game. I was groomed in it. I know how to play the game. So I'm a general fighting against their team. And I have exactly what they want, and I'm not letting them have it. And they can't take me out because the CIA says themselves in Hunting Hitler, they say it, their most important resource is their prime resource. You don't take out your prime resource because you'll lose the information and intel that you need. So I'm alive because I'm very important as an asset to the CIA and what I know. I'm alive because I'm very important to what the intellectual property I still have buried that they can't have. I'm alive because I'm fighting for you. And I'm going to finish the job. I know how to play this game. Those that weren't groomed, you don't know. So I'll do the work. I'll finish my job. And we've got them. And I believe God has blessed that. He gave us this incredible work with everything in here from fake Oval Office to Neuralink proven. Now they changed the law in 2013 with the Patent Office. Now you can follow this. In the Patent Office, it's no longer in 2013 who created it first. Tom Althouse did. I'm just saying that for reference, not ego. Yes, God gave me this. Neuralink is proven here as I created it first. They changed the law for Elon Musk in 2013. They changed it to whoever puts their thing on the spike at the Patent Office first. So it's no longer who creates it first. It's who claims it. You can say it like you can the toothbrush, invention of the toothbrush. You can put down something with spikes on it that you stick in your mouth, and you've got the first claim on the Patent Office. See how stupid it is? In fact, I researched Neuralink, which is actually Enhancer, and here's what they have for their first entries. A braided cord that is attached to your neck. That's all they needed to say they're the ones that are putting the patent first, not who created it first. Now, if you take that and change it, it was better with who creates it first because then they can tell you all about it, and they also have a passion for it to explain pros and cons. And look what happened. Since they changed that law, no longer to who creates it first, they give it to Elon Musk. He feels safe to take it, and he's not telling you the bad things. But watch that thumb go like this. Because I'm going to drive him down that road. I'm going to drive him down that road. It's going to drive him mad. They may say, well, it only gets a few views. 3 shows a day. And they are watching everything we say. They're afraid of anybody watching. So if you're in the audience, exactly. You're the ones you're scaring the trash out of them. Anyway, I'm sorry I talked so long on that, but yeah.
No, it's so true because it's really just a matter of time anyway, you know, and it takes 1 or 2 of the right people to see it.
Right.
And obviously, you know, word gets spread around, and that's what you're saying, you know, as people see the truth sets us all free.
That's right. And each person that stands with us and understands what we're talking about and sees our heart through our eyes and who we really are and what we're standing for, bless you. It makes the world of difference. You know, Shanti, when we all go through these things, that includes audience, when we go through these things, it means the world for a kind word, for an understanding word, to say, I believe you, for any of us. So I'm starting my own show now. I'll do my own show called The Unconquered. And that's the vision I had about the sword with the name Unconquerable. So I'm going to do the show in honor of God and to lift hosts like yourself and others. So I will have you on my show coming up some point. Yeah. And I want to hear your story, right? And I'll push the mute button a lot so I don't talk so much. But the thing is, when people say they believe you, it totally disrupts the whole system of the cabal and sends people like Kate Chilton and the rest running. We are on your side. And watch the eyes. And if there's a layer of compassion, you'll be able to read this. Look for the layer of the compassion. The other side's unable to do that. They're unable to have any compassion in all in them, so it doesn't show as a layer. Watch for compassion. I see it in your eyes. I see it in people I know. It's like That's your call sign. That's what you look for. Look for that layer in there. We may get upset, we may get passionate, but it's always going to be there locked in because our Creator, Father, put it there. Anyway,
I agree.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the watch.
Well, that's super exciting that you're not getting your own show. You're starting your own show. When are you going to do this? Do you want to tell us a bit about it?
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
it was only a matter of time, Tom.
I'm staying with you. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm staying with you. But the thing is that I want to give something back because now we're winning. And let's define winning real quick. Winning is not going in the court system, their rigged game, and somehow turning up double sixes. Winning is bringing forward all the information to the public that shows you would win in a fair system, that you won in a fair system to reveal how corrupt theirs is. That's how you get rid of the game. So I'm basically going to my own rough patch by doing this, but I'm called to do it, to show how the game is rigged. So I'm going to show the world evidence that's going to be like, there's no brainer on this. This is obvious. He holds the copyright. He has the stuff. He has proven he came up with it first. All their rigs fall apart then because it shows they're wrong. So they'll say, we won. But it'll be like, you're wrong. And the world knows you're wrong. So the system needs to be changed to help free our kids and everything. So the show is called Unconquered because I had a vision of being handed way back when I was with Robertson's group, a sword. And the sword was handed to me in a vision, waking vision. And on it, on the blade, it said unconquerable. So the idea was the unconquered. And that gives honor to the one who bore the sword and gave it to me. So in that vision. And so in that vision was also a white horse and things like this. It was very interesting. Then I saw biblical references for all these things later, but at the time I didn't really realize when I was choosing to do this path. So I want to do it to give something back. I want to hear the stories of hosts and those that have the courage to come forward and lift, like Red Pill 78, like you, what you've done, like Mix It Up Podcast, Emma from Imagination Podcast. There's so many. I won't be able to name them all. There's hundreds and hundreds of it done. Like Sarah Westall. I want to have you guys on my program to hear. And one of the main questions I want to ask is, how did you start? What prompted you? What moved you to do this service for humanity? To put yourself out there to do this? I want to hear it. I want to hear. And I'm going to find a fascinating journey. And it's going to be very pleasurable to experience this firsthand. Why each person who did all this courage and service, courage grounded, chose. And I think I'm going to see a pattern forming. And I think it's going to come down to courage, obedience, a calling. And it's almost like the Brothers Grimm of people in our time that chose to lift themselves forward together. I want to bring these stories together. Just like we said, the stories of the elderly, I want to bring forward the stories of the hosts that lasted. And the bad ones, the shirkers, all have left me. They've all left me. They fled. And they had angry words, and it's not anything you did. It's just that they were revealed. I didn't buy it. So I'm with the cream of the crops now. And I invite others with that too. But I want to do that. I want to do that. Just like that library of memories of the elderly, where you walk into a beautiful, beautiful sanctum. And it's like on the wall is their name, and you get to live their most cherished memory. The Neuralink can be used for that, for a library of memories, where you live these most poignant moments where everybody matters is the message. And that should be over the door frame. Everyone does matter. Everyone does matter.
Yeah.
Enter, you matter. And share the most beautiful moments of every single person that we can get. Elderly person, every single memory. Could you imagine being in that place? Each memory, feeling what they felt, what they experienced at that moment, one after another. Does that not lift humanity to the goodness of humanity, the beauty of humanity, what we can be, and how every person has value? We don't need campaigns to do it. We don't need bumper stickers to tell us. We need to experience it, that every person does matter. And you can take anybody, every poignant moment. Anyway, back to you. Sorry, I went off. Good.
No, I mean, I think that's you pretty much answered that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can defeat the other. We'll defeat the other side by beauty. We'll defeat the other side by lifting beauty in each of us. That's how we do it. So again, back to the main point. Let's not divide over whether there's tunnels, whether children are being extracted, whether Tom Hanks is alive or dead. where let's not divide over anything. Let's just get the job done. And let's all be gentle with each other. And we'll get the job done. Yeah.
Get together and do it. Everyone does their own little piece.
We'll learn in the end.
Let's just get together and do it.
We'll learn in the end what was right, what was wrong. As long as we're moving forward to stop the evil. That's what matters. And we have the cards now. God gave us the total cards to play. We've got it. We've got what we need. We got what we need. And all of us have our pieces. We got what we need. So anyway, thank you, Shanti, for that.
Yay, Tom. Thank you so much for another awesome chat with you. Always very,
my pleasure.
Very informing, and look forward to chatting with you next week again. Sorry, I just thought something was still getting used to the noises in my house.
Yeah, I heard it too. It's like, yeah. No, thanks for having me on, Shanti. And thanks for all the people in the audience too. Thank you so much for the support for all of us. Yeah.
This is so cool.
I look forward to meeting each person. I look forward to meeting each person when we celebrate. We have the celebration because I want a celebration of celebrations. I mean, I want us to celebrate and just meet each other and just look in each other's eyes and go, see what's there and just say, God bless you. God bless you. We took this journey together, all of us, and we didn't let them divide us. We didn't let them divide us. And someone walk up to me at that celebration and tell me that very phrase. We didn't let them divide us, and I'll burst in tears probably. But yeah, it'll be a great moment. Yeah. Thank you, Shanti.
Absolutely. Yay. We will make it happen. The day will come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next thing, I'm right over there.
And Satan will be talking to the plants. Good. All right. Okay.
Remember that.
Yeah. No one to talk to.
He won't even be noticing the hot girls in the other corner.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Elon will keep up. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. All right. But thanks for this. Did I lose you? Is it just me? Well, thanks, Shanti, for having me on. It looks like you just got cut. And thanks, everybody. Have a blessed day.
Okay. We had a technical glitch, guys. But anyway, we're on our way out anyway. So thank you so much. I'm sorry, I had an internet glitch, and I think Tom obviously thought that I was off as well. I'm not sure if he's going to come back, so I'll keep it just for 1 second longer. Okay, well, did you get okay, Tom's on the WhatsApp. But anyway, I think what we'll do is just wish you farewell. Awesome. Awesome first place. Awesome first interview in my new place. As you guys can see, I'm still very disorganized. But really good to have you tonight back with Tom. And I'll see you tomorrow with Jessie as well as Bryce, guys. So, God bless you all. Take good care of yourselves. And we'll catch up with you next week. But wait, let me first see how I do this, okay? I'm a little bit I'm slow. Bye, everybody.